Hey guys! My power came on 12 minutes ago. Yay! And the first thing I did was make coffee. So, okay, sorry about all the delays. I didn't know that, obviously I didn't know the power was going to be out today. And we got snow. It's so exciting. So, alright, here we are. We're talking about effective photos today. I wrestled with what order to do these trainings in. Sorry, I'm going to adjust this because it makes me look even shorter than I already am. There we go. I kind of wrestled with what order to put things in. And I decided to start with what makes a photo effective because I like to know what the end result is or what the end game is. Hey, Caitlin. And so instead of talking about all the pieces to creating an effective photo and then what to do with it, we're going to start with what to do with it, and then we'll talk about the pieces to get there. Hey. So I want to begin with some disclaimers because I don't know what expectations are. I'm not a photographer, and I'm not a Facebook expert. I'm not an Instagram expert. I have a really nice camera that I don't know how to use that my husband got me 5 years ago that consumes me with guilt every time I look at it because I don't know what to do with it. All of my photos are taken on my phone. Hi, Brandy. And so I just want to make some clear expectations that what you're going to learn in this group is stuff that I have taught myself because I decided it was important stuff to know how to do. And I made some mistakes and I did a lot of experiments and it took me a while. So to save you guys the trouble and the struggles that I went through, I just thought I should share it, and then hopefully you guys can teach me something someday about something that I struggle with. I believe that we should share what we know. What kind of phone? It's a Samsung Galaxy S8. And my husband has the 9, but I haven't really played with it. Hi, Mom. So, okay, so let's start with what makes a photo effective. So for me, an effective photo is a picture of a product that communicates its size, color, texture, its purpose, its shape. It's just something that clearly translates what the product is in a transparent way. Hi, Tricia. And so we are going to talk a little bit about how to accomplish those things over the next few days. We're going to talk about lighting. Lighting is so important because lighting, if you use artificial light, you're going to get inaccurate colors. And if you have a product that it is important that people understand what the color is, it's important that you get natural light. So we're going to talk about different ways to get that without having to spend $1 million or buy like a photography set. I do use a light box now, but that's recent. So we're going to talk about the things I did before I had my light box, and then I'll show you guys my light box also. I'm in love with it. I've recommended it to everybody on the planet, and last I checked, Amazon didn't have my exact one anymore, but they have a lot of good options, so we'll talk about those. Hey, everybody. So let's talk about why effective photos are important. You want to pique people's interest, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. So when people are going through Facebook and they're scrolling along, you want to show them something that stops the scroll. And that's challenging because there's a lot of crazy stuff on Facebook that stops people scrolling, right? You want to be among those people that have something that catches their eye and makes them say, what's this? Facebook loves that. Facebook's goal is to keep people on their platform as much as possible. And so if you can get someone to stop scrolling and look at your content, Facebook is going to be like, oh, they have something interesting that people like to see. And then they're going to take that and show it to more people. So it's good for you. It's good for Facebook. So having something that's attractive is important. And sorry, I'm a little out of breath because I ran out to my car right before I sat down. So with your effective photo, you want to create a trust in the product. You want to create transparency. I have recently taken a picture of every every product in our line, okay? So these are new pictures. I haven't had them very long. I've done a lot of parties, Facebook parties, direct sales Facebook parties, where I've shown some great photos that I picked up from people that shared them, and some that I took in different spots and with different methods. I thought they were great photos. And I would show those photos in my party. And I would say, you know, like, hey girls, what do you love glitter? Here's my favorite 5 glitters. And I had this mismatched group of photos. And I would get a lot of questions, which I thought was good. Like, oh, we're getting engagement. People are asking questions. And so there's like one picture where the hand is clearly in a car because there's a steering wheel in the background, but it's really good lighting and it looks really good. And then there's one where I was holding a white mug, so you know the colors are accurate because it's next to something white, so people can translate the color. And I was just like, oh good, people are asking questions and we're engaging and this is great. My last 2 parties, I've used my pictures that are all in the series, and you can clearly tell it's the same person's hands, it's the same background every time. There's different props and different things happening, but it's clearly the same thing over and over and over again. And people have not been asking questions, they've just been buying it, which I've discovered is better than when they ask questions. It's transparent, and people trust it because they've seen it over and over again. So that's something that an effective photo will do. It'll take away the questions. And as much as we talk about having engagement and interaction with people, there's a time and a place for that, but when you're trying to get them to buy something, you just want them to click on the cart, right? You just want them to check out. And we love helping our customers, and we love, you know, creating connections and helping them out. But at the end of the day, the purpose, the reason that we do the parties and the reason that we post on our timeline and do all the things is because we want them to buy. We're salespeople, right? So, and I don't like being a salesperson, right? I don't like being pushy and asking people to buy things. So that's where I want to talk a little bit about what we post on our personal timeline versus what we post in our shopping groups and in our parties. Do you have some sort of photo bundle we can purchase? I'm trying to sort them out, Sarah, and figure out how I can help get them to stylists and things. This book is, I just said I don't want to be a salesperson. I got this book done on a website called Blurb, which is a self-publishing site. And so the reason I did that on there is so that my team could get one if they wanted one. So I can drop the link somewhere. It's just it just got all my pictures in it. And then a digital version, I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know yet, but I'll get back to you. And I want there to be other options for people, because I do believe we should share what we have and what we know and help everyone succeed. So some people have been a little bit suspicious of this group, like, what do you want from me? I'm like, I don't want anything. I just, you know, anyway, sorry. Yes, so I will figure out how to figure out the photos. But what I'm enjoying about having my photos of my own hands is that it also creates trust with the customers, because they know that I've tried all the colors. Like, they can ask my advice about this versus that, and I have now wore them all, and so I have good information that way, which was not ever part of the reason that I wanted to take a picture of each one. It was to have the pictures, but that was just like a side benefit. Thanks. So in my VIP group and in my Facebook parties, and not everybody here is with Color Street, but I assume that most direct sales people have a party platform or a party thing they do on Facebook, or they might have a VIP group. I feel better about doing salesy types posts in those groups because those people are there to learn about the product and they expect that. So I'm okay with dropping my shopping link and, you know, and being like a salesperson in that space. What I have struggled with, and I don't know about you guys, but is what to post on my personal timeline. Because, okay, raise your hand, little raise your hand emoji. If you've ever looked someone up on Facebook that you used to know, that you've wanted to connect with them, and you find them, and you start scrolling through their feed, and it's like, buy this thing, join my team, buy this thing, politics, buy this thing, join my team, you know, and then you're like, oh, peace out. I guess I'm not gonna try to connect with you, because as soon as I do, it's just gonna be like sales all the time. And that's not what I want my personal timeline to be at all. So I've struggled with how to use these photos. Yep, here comes some hands. I've struggled with how to use these photos on my personal timeline in a way that, you know, attracts people. I love the idea of attraction marketing, but I haven't been able to figure out like where that line is between being too salesy and actually providing content and things. So I want to tell you guys a little story about some experiments I did lately. Oh yeah, lots of hands. We've all been there. We don't want to be that guy. No, we don't. So I posted a nail fee. It was my favorite one. So a nail fee, for those of you who don't know, is a photo of our nails, because some of us are Color Street people and we sell nail polish. So we post pictures of our nails. It was my favorite picture I'd ever taken. I thought it was like my favorite one. It was around the holidays and it was a glitter, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love that. I'm gonna post this and see what happens. So I talked directly about what was in the picture. I was like, you know, look at this color. It's so sparkly. It's perfect for the holidays. It'll go with your winter prom dress. It's wonderful. Here's the link. Let me know if you want a sample. I got a couple of likes, a couple of comments, and no PMs at all. A little while later, I posted another picture, and not my favorite picture, not my favorite polish shade, not a big fan, but I posted it, and it was, actually, I'll show you which one it was. And maybe you love this color, and I'm not judging you if you do, because we all have different taste. It just didn't look great on my skin tone. And where is it? Oh, it's in the reds. Okay, it was this one. Okay, I posted this picture. Little bowl of lemons, some iced tea, holding a lemon, okay? And I said nothing about anything to do with my business. I said nothing about anything to do with nail polish. I said, when I was done taking this photo, so that was the only reference to the fact that those were my hands and this was my picture. When I was done taking this photo, I set this bowl of lemons on my table, and I went outside to get the mail. When I came back in, my 6-year-old was sitting at the table in front of the bowl of lemons looking distressed. And I was like, what's the matter? And he goes, Mom, you set this in my spot, but it's not very good. And it was funny because the rule at my house is if I serve food to your spot, then you have to eat it. So he thought he was expected to eat this bowl of lemons, and I sat it there by mistake. So I just told this story on Facebook. I made no reference to my business at all. It got way more likes. It got way more engagement because moms were like, oh, I can relate. This story happened with this person, or, you know, with my kid. And a few people were like, oh, I love that nail color. And I got 2 PMs of people that were like, what do you take those pictures for? What do you do? What is that? And then I got to introduce them to the product behind the scenes in a private message, got them into my VIP group. One of them is like a really successful realtor, and I asked her what she did, and I was just like, this is a great person to connect with, and I connected with them over lemons that my son thought he was supposed to eat, not over my product. So that's more of the things that I'm posting on my timeline that's creating momentum for my business. And then I'm posting lots of photos and lots of things in my parties and in my VIP group because the people in those groups came for the product anyway, so they expect that you're gonna talk about it. That's what they came for. That's kind of how I balance those two things and how I use those photos. And the other thing that I have, where'd my note go? Sorry, I'm not super organized. I was organized for 10 a.m. when I thought we were gonna do this, and then, the day got away. The power went out, blah, blah, blah. Okay, oh yes, I wanted to talk a little bit about product placement. So product placement is a tactic that companies use where they kind of manipulate us into taking notice of their product, seeing their product over and over, but it's not like a straightforward approach. It's just that the product is kind of secondary to whatever is happening in the ad. So a couple of times where I've experimented with product placement recently on Instagram is if I post one of my pictures and there's like a brand of something in the photo. So one time it was my ring. I tagged the jeweler, you know, in the photo. I tagged the jeweler and I talked about, I didn't talk about my business. I just talked about what was happening in the photo. Like, I wish I could remember what else was in the picture, but you know, it's like, I can't think. Okay, so one time I had some chocolates in a photo, and I talked about how every time I see a beautiful spread of food in a magazine, I wonder if anyone actually eats it or if it just is a prop. And I was like, rest at ease, I totally ate all this stuff in this picture, you know, and that was all I said. I didn't say anything about my business again. I didn't say anything about, it wasn't salesy, it was just all about the photo. And I tagged my ring, I tagged the jeweler, I tagged the manufacturer of the chocolates, I tagged whatever else was in the photo, I tagged those people. And two of those companies, and it happened to be a picture that got a lot of likes. I'm still figuring Instagram out. If any of you are an Instagram like pro, teach me your ways. But it got a lot of interaction and it got a lot of likes, and those two companies that I tagged reached out to me and said, we love your post. Is it okay if we, you know, post it and tag you? So it was product placement for them in my photo, and then when they used the photo on their feed, it was product placement for me. Does that make sense? And so those types of things are indirect marketing. I can help teach you the ways. Okay, I'm in. Please do. I love it. It's really fun and pretty to hang out there, but I don't know what I'm doing. So those are what we're going to talk about this week. We're going to learn how to take those effective photos and then maybe try to use some of these tactics to make them work for us. So does anybody have any questions? Anything we can go over? Tomorrow we're going to talk about lighting, like I said, and then on Wednesday we're going to talk about composition and layout, and Thursday we're going to talk about color street related stuff, application and things. So if anyone doesn't have anything, never use Instagram. I want to know how it works. And I think I'm slowly getting there, but I'm sure there's a quicker way it'll figure it out. So, all right, guys, thank you for your patience today, and tomorrow I hope will go a whole lot smoother. And thanks for being here this week. And if you are watching the replay and you have any questions or anything to add, comment and I'll get back to you. Oh, you're super welcome. It's fun for me too. Okay, talk to you later. What time are your lives going to be? I'm going to try for 10 Pacific time. That was the plan. I posted events. If you go to the events tab, it'll tell you the day, what we're talking about, and the time. Today was just a snow day at school, so my kids had a 2-hour late start, and then the power went out, and then my phone was like almost dead, and so, you know, life, and Monday. I don't have a photography background, Jill. I just started with Color Street, yeah. I just wanted to be able to communicate the product in a way that made people feel like we were face-to-face. Because when I first started with direct sales, I did a lot of in-home parties, and things sold really well at in-home parties when people could see it in person. And then I live in a small community. I had a small network, so those in-home parties kind of petered out. And then in virtual parties, I noticed that the sales weren't as good, and I felt like it was probably because people didn't understand the product as well, because they weren't getting that face-to-face experience. And so my goal became, how can I take a picture that communicates what I see in person, that can help my customers understand what they're looking at. So, oh, thanks. So yeah, that's kind of my goal, is to help you guys, help you learn how to do that. And I also wanted it to be something that I could do at home, not have to go anywhere, not have to buy anything fancy, no fancy equipment, just do it at home. So I took a lot of really terrible pictures. So there's a lot of trial and error. So maybe we can skip that and go straight to the things that are working. So, all right, everybody, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you. Tomorrow will be smoother. See you soon.